So over the last 10 years, I've been carrying this rifle for work, for backpacking, for hunting, for most outdoor purposes that require having a weapon at all. Welcome back to On the Scout. I'm Don. The thing that has defined my channel above all other things is the Scout Rifle concept by Jeff Cooper. But not just any Scout Rifle, the Ruger Gunsite Scout Rifle. Scout Rifle lends itself to being carried often and shot less. So over the years, I've had many conversations with different shooters, but today I have a special guest on the channel, my friend Nathan. He's a new Scout Rifle shooter, and I want to get him squared away with this particular platform, the Ruger Scout Rifle. So Nathan, why don't you give a little bit of introduction of your experience and what your background is and why you chose to even join the Scout Rifle journey with us all.
Absolutely, yeah, I'm Nathan, and after our conversations and seeing you handle your rifle, I wanted to add the Ruger Scout Rifle to my collection, and I appreciate you getting me squared away and all the ins and outs of it.
So there's a few nuances that go beyond what the Ruger and Illing new video, which is linked in the description. It's a really great video series, how to get all the cool functions and how to handle a Scout Rifle, but there's a lot of little secrets that I wanted to add on to that video. So if you look right here, Nathan, this little screw that holds on the bolt release, like if you actually flip this lever, you can pick the bolt in and out, field strip it. This part often from the factory, from Ruger, comes like barely tightened and doesn't have any Loctite. So we're gonna just remove this screw, put some red Loctite in there. And so that'll keep it in, so all the actual aggressive bolt handling won't loosen this little bolt up and let your bolts fly out. All the things we need to do is we need to put some red Loctite on the rear iron sight if you intend to use intermediate or long eye relief optics. This will eventually loosen up due to recoil and also like the impact of having the bolt hit that little back of the receiver bridge. We're gonna Loctite that on. We're gonna remove and Loctite these four bolts that hold the forward Picatinny rail on. Because again, like all the barrel recoil, the barrel whipping, all the heating that occurs here in the chamber area, this also loosens up. So we're gonna get this secure. And underneath the rifle, we're actually going to remove and make sure the forward action bolt and the rear action bolt are torqued to Ruger spec. That way you get the most accuracy and you get an action that doesn't loosen up after carrying it for a whole season or a hunt. This rifle platform, this is the laminate stock in the 18.5-inch barrel. So if you hold this rifle here, I'll hold it alongside my old beat up old Scout, you can see it just looks a lot different just having a 16-inch barrel versus the 18.5. I think the 18.5 honestly is a little bit closer to Gunsite, Ruger, and Scout Rifle concept specs. The Scout Rifle concept was supposed to have a 19-inch barrel, so I think actually the 18.5-inch barrel that you have is closer to the Scout Rifle spec than this 16-inch, even though this is a shorter, lighter, and more compact. You know, I think this is more spec correct as a Scout, which is cool.
Interesting.
And you get more muzzle velocity.
Absolutely.
All right. Quickly here, look at the buttstock, the recoil pad area of your rifle and my rifle. What do you notice different here?
Looks like you took out that 1/2-inch spacer.
So I took out the spacer because honestly, the length of pull, which is the distance between the trigger finger and then your arm here, I think the Scout Rifle feels better, feels handier when there's less length of pull. Even with a tall guy, you're a tall guy, you're a lanky guy. You know, I'm a tall, lanky guy. And I find that this like 12.5-inch length of pull with no spacers works for me. And depending on how you feel, you shoulder this rifle. You pointed off in the safe direction there. You tell me how that feels.
It's pretty comfortable.
Let's just try keeping the spacer on for now. This is the differences. I like the short length of pull. Cooper always said that the shorter length of pull could be shot by a tall person, a tall person with lanky arms, and a short person. But a longer length of pull can't be used by a short person. So he always preferred his Scout rifles have all the spacers removed and the shortest length of pull possible. So that's why I have mine set up this way. But honestly, however the actual Scout rifleman feels about their rifle and how it feels on their shoulder, that's the right way, not what Cooper said 50 years ago. All right, now that all the important bolts and nuts have been tightened up on your new Ruger Scout, the next important thing to make it a Scout is a Scout scope. So I brought a selection of scopes here that you can try out. I have the Leopold 1.5 to 4, I have the Vortex 2 to 7, and I have the Crimson Trace 2.5 to 8. These are all featured in the prior Scout Rifle scope review. So let's get these on your optics mount and just tell me which one feels and looks the best to you from the lowest magnification to the highest magnification. So if you use your left thumb, you actually move this use your left thumb right here, put your left thumb on top. So crank this with your thumb, so you actually change the power.
All right,
So
well, I'm still trying to get the eye relief.
This is actually an intermediate eye relief optic. That's why the rear ocular is all the way over the chamber. This isn't quite a true scout scope according to the Cooper spec. Scout scope is, you can change the power while aiming with your hand supporting the rifle. So it's kind of like that little scope gadget AR people like, oh yeah, I'll slide this little thing, I'll jerk off my AR and change the power, but the scout scope can already do that because it's right where your thumb is at anyways. So go to 1.5 power and then check your eye relief. How does that feel? Can you get a full sight picture without shadow?
Yeah.
Crank it to 4 now by pushing the other way.
Now I'm getting some shadow.
So if you move the gun forward, the rifle forward, is it shadow go away or is it?
It'll get worse.
It gets worse, so you need to come closer. Okay, so what do you think about the eye relief now that we removed the rear stock spacer and got that scope all the way back towards the iron sight there?
Much better. Much easier to find that sight picture.
Is there, how much shadow is going on?
None.
None?
Okay. If I got it in the right spot, but I can walk around and get the shadow, but maybe that cheek spacer, that cheek rester will help with that too.
Yeah, the cheek spacer, the little Titan cheek rest, once we tape that down on the stock, will help you find the right spot and make the eye box more forgiving. Because this eye box, honestly, in the Leupold is pretty tight and it's really hard to deal with sometimes. But this is a really good piece of glass, really high quality glass, really clear image.
It is very clear.
There's no image distortion on the edges at all. Leupold just did a really good job. All right, this is the Vortex Crossfire Mach 2. So just give you your feel of it and give your impressions of it. What magnification are you on?
Lowest 2.
So right now, the little known fact, the Crossfire is not super well designed. So it's actually at 3 to 7. It says 2 to 7, but if you notice, you go to 3. Stop right there. That's 3. You notice there's no scope shadow, right?
Yep.
Go back down to 2. See what you see.
It tightens the picture.
It tightens the picture, yeah. So it actually has like a major optical aberration at 2 power. So even though this is labeled a 2 to 7, it's actually a 3 to 7 because of Vortex reasons. But hey, you know what? It's a $50 scope, so.
Pretty nice at full power.
It's full power. It's pretty nice, and it's actually the turret's track, and I've shot this optic out to 1,000. So yeah, as long as you don't go to 2, as long as you don't go to 2 power. And what do you notice about the eye relief right now on this optic?
Really easy to find. I'm not having much shadow at all.
Yeah, and notice how far forward it is though. It isn't all the way back here at the iron.
It's way up there.
It's like an inch forward of the ejection port. It's almost a pistol optic, how far the eye relief is. Go back to 3 power. Try to get in the habit of changing magnification while it's on your shoulder because that's how it's meant to be done. You gotta go to 7 power again with just a thumb.
Yeah, you get past, start going.
Yeah, don't go to 2. It's just pointless. Yeah, there you go. Stop right there. That's it. It's 3.
Yeah, that's nice. A lot better than I thought it'd be for a $50 optic.
What do you think about that versus the Leupold so far?
I hate to say it, but I kind of like it more.
You kind of like the
it's easier to find the sight picture, you know, and easier to turn the turret, and clarity is still nice. It still has good clarity.
Good. What matters is what you feel about the optic.
Well, being a scout rifle, I feel like I should get that sight picture quick and not have to look around, make sure I got my head in just the perfect spot. This one, I can move my head all over the place.
So the eye box is way more forgiving for you.
Absolutely.
Crimson Trace, go ahead and you're at 2.5 power. Go ahead and just shoulder it and tell me how it feels and looks.
Eye box isn't nearly as forgiving as the Vortex. Clarity seems to be a little more dull too. Maybe not too bad.
And also, since it's set up for my eye, you need to make clarity better by changing the rear ocular. So you just need to play with this, play with that some too. Play with that until clarity is improved. It should be a similar quality glass. It uses Nikon glass in Crimson Trace. They bought Nikon's factory. So you just play with the rear ocular focus until you get good clarity. And the Leupold, the Vortex, and this scope have rear ocular, so you can make that fine adjustment.
I think I like the Vortex the best.
Okay, that settles it. Let's get that mounted up.
That's the most forgiving eye box.
Yeah. Especially with no cheek piece, you're going to need that eye box as you're starting out until you get the cheek piece taped on. How's that new optics mount job feeling for you now?
That's nice.
So once we get that cheek piece put on for you later on, you'll have a perfect, really quick, friendly spot to just drop right into the rifle. So the one thing that needs to be done to make this rifle complete is we need to put a sling, specifically a scout rifle shooting sling, onto this rifle. This is a Galco Safari Ching sling, and so I'll show you how to use it. Let's get it attached to the studs. So the shooting sling you see over here is a weird little U-loop, a big teardrop loop, And so once you actually, oh yeah, we see the target. I'm actually gonna put this U to my armpit, and now I have shooting support. And you start it with it right from my shoulder, pull the armpit, and I feel that tension building a triangle between my left armpit, the fore end of the rifle, and my right shoulder, and driving that into my pocket. You can also do the classic sling up, kind of hold the rifle up, arm in, loop up that way. Did you see that?
Yeah. So you would need to pull this into your armpit,
into the armpit,
after you
yeah.
pull it up to your arm?
Or you can do it first and then put the stock in. Then you can do it. You can also do the loop first and then put the shoulder stock into your right shoulder.
That does add a lot of support though, doesn't it?
It adds even more support once we get into positional shooting, whether it be kneeling, squatting, or shooting off a barricade. It's slower, but it gives you a bit more positive grip around your body. I'm actually getting the bore pointed at our zero target, a paper target down there at 50 yards, 50 meters actually, making sure the optic is somewhat on paper. So you don't even need to go to a store and pay a little bit of money to some granddad at Sportsman's Guide or Sportsman's Warehouse or Cabela's. You can do this in the field on your own. So as long as the paper is in the center, hold it with the shooting bags and run the turret until it's on the center to match what you see, and you'll be on paper. So you're going to want your spine in line with the rifle's bore. It's off pointed at the paper target, and your spine needs to shift. So move your hips and your feet to your right. And keep moving your hips and your feet. Keep the torso and shoulders the same. So right now, standing behind you, I can see that your spine is now in line with the rifle's bore. So you're going to have better ergonomics, and you're going to have better recoil absorption and follow-up shots if you shoot prone this way, okay?
I mean, all right, there we go.
Are you on target? So you get your left hand and grab that bag and secure it to the stock, like that. Grab a hold of the sandbag. So are you on sight picture with the paper?
God, it's like I had it and now I'm grabbing shit. No, there we go. Now I got it.
Okay, so I want you to move your hips and your feet.
If I start moving, I'm gonna get off target.
No, you won't. We start moving it to the right. We gotta get your spine aligned a bit. Move a bit further right.
I got a crooked ass spine.
It's a little bit further to the right. You get this here. It's a little bit further. Okay, that looks better. We'll stay in line, okay? So keep holding that rear bag. Get your fingers onto the rear sandbag and make it one piece with the stock, okay? Are you on paper?
Yep.
Okay, use your index finger and disengage the safety to fire. We're gonna dry fire. Get centered on the target. Hard exhale, hold, squeeze the trigger back, and hold the trigger back. Follow through.
And send it.
Sending. Bit paper, excellent. Re-rack, send another. Inhale, exhale, hold, center of crosshairs, squeeze and pin back. Yeah, dead eye, man. All right, go ahead and pull the mag, pull the mag and open the chamber, and we'll go down there and let's look at the results. Okay, so here's what you got. Look at this. You're really good here. So you come on, camera can come in and see it. Your first zero group here, you had a flyer, but your next two were like next to each other. So, you know, about MOA, and you had a flyer, that's fine. You're in an uncomfortable position. And then the next three, after we made the adjustments, man, you're right on. Perfect. Your rifle's zero, whatever ammo you chose, you're on for 50 meters.
That's two, right?
That's three. 1, 2, 3.
2, 3,
Yeah, you're good. Perfect. Awesome, dude.
Thank you.
Woo! So Nate, you told me that it was really awkward for your body type to be in prone for now. So let's move on to a different position that's actually more practical to the real world, because rarely do we get a chance to shoot prone at all because there's so much foliage and stuff going on. So I have my Scout rifle here, unsling it for American style. I have a different sling style on my rifle right now. This is called the Ching Sling, classic Ching Sling. It's a 3-point sling. It works the same way as a Safari Ching. So it looks like this. I go from standing, I carefully drop down to kneeling, and get down to sitting. I can sit down crisscross applesauce, and notice I'm looking at that IPSC down there, the IPSC steel target, and I'm actually bladed off 45 degrees. The center of my body is 45 degrees off. And I'm actually gonna pass the arm through the loop or use the loop. I'm gonna put my crisscross applesauce knees up a little bit, put my elbows on top, all slung up. I still have sling tension with my rifle here, and I'll aim with my feet, so I can actually traverse left and right by moving my butt and hips. And I'll try to establish a natural point of aim. So approximately a natural point of aim means where my crosshairs want to point. I'll fine tune, get on the IPSC. We'll dry fire here. And notice another thing. My elbows are pointy, so I'm actually putting the sides of my elbows on my knees rather than elbow to knee. Because if I put elbow to knee, it'll wobble. So, natural point of aim. Right, it's a 100 meter, 66% IPSC. So I want you to do just what I did. Get from kneeling or standing to this sitting position. Keep playing with your body positions. Keep moving your hips around, move your feet around, move your elbows around. Find the spot that's the most stable as you learn how to use this positional shooting using a sling. You want to have your elbows rested on your thighs. You can. Want to support on this side and the right, that side. Left hand on the forehand and use right hand to pull your sling up. I think that's one of the better ways to use the Safari Ching sling. Good hit. Unfortunately, we knocked the steel target off of the stump.
But I hit it.
But you hit it right on in the center. So good work. Be aggro with it. Yeah. Slam it hard forward. Hard down. There you go. Safety. Okay. So where were you aiming? What was your point of aim for this 100-meter target? Center here?
Yeah.
Hey, just a couple inches off center. So really good to hold. There's going to be a wobble as you weren't prone. You're in a sitting position with slings. So there's going to be wobble.
There was.
So this is just how it is. So good work. This is a really good hit. So a really important drill that a scout rifleman needs to practice is the snapshot. Cooper suggested that a good scout rifleman could hit a 4-inch target at 25 yards from high ready in 1.5 seconds. And that was a good scout rifleman, general purpose rifleman. And so my variation of the drill is there's 2 clays out there right now. And I'm going to try to break the first one in about a second and a half, and the second one in under 4. So let's see how I do. Rusty. So you run the timer, and I'll do the shooting for the first round, and I'll swap with you.
Shooter ready?
Ready?
Stand by.
Set it up. Well,
Shaved a third of your time off?
first shot 1.76. It took me 3 shots to do it because I missed the second one. I rushed it, so 6.34.
Give it a go.
Remember, go slow, make those hits, okay?
All right.
Let's count. Shooter, are you ready?
Ready.
Stand by. You're a nit. Give the last one. Good. So your first shot was awesome, 3.2. So you got 24.43 to destroy the 2 clays. You just know that when we introduce a shot timer, all the true weaknesses are understood.
Speed, for sure.
So now you know where you need to work on as you proceed in your journey as a scout rifleman. Hey, you know what? Good work. So thank you. Sword both. All right, so Nathan, this is a pretty classic hunting scenario. If you just imagine the A zone on that IPSC target is the vital size of an elk. It's about the same size. And so right now we've come up to a position where we can't go prone. There's so much understory, so much foliage. We can't go to kneeling because there's a few tree branches in the way. So we're gonna have to do standing supported against this tree trunk. Right now, I'm lasing the target. It's 150 yards. And everyone make sure your eyes and ears on. We're going to go hot. And I'll show you the position I like to shoot off the side of the tree here. So right now I'm pushing my right elbow against the trunk, using my left hand to push the stalk, the side of the stalk against the tree here. And I'm centering on You're using the sling support. And lock steady. Don't forget to use your sling support. To get that sling, and put your hand on the forend. There's that right hand. Yeah, there you go. You drop that into your armpit. Okay. Get your right elbow against that tree as well. Almost like a tree hugger. Hug that tree. Right elbow. Right elbow in. Good. Okay. Point of aim should be point of impact, okay? I'll spot for you. Miss? I did. He didn't run anywhere. Hit him again. Confused. Hit him again. Sometimes you do get a second shot. They stand there for you. Inhale, exhale. It's right center punch. Okay, it probably was just a little bit of a little issue with fundamentals by a little pulling. You know, you probably pulled it in the first two. But yeah, more practice will buff that out. But it looks like
aiming a little high, I think, too.
Yeah, no holdovers needed. Point of aim is point of impact at 150 yards. So I'm gonna go ahead and put your ears back on. Go ahead and do it. Take your time. Get your sling used. Hold it. Get your sling in. Okay. Let's do one more time. Just get all the shot process, the support process all together. Your right elbow against the tree. To right elbow against the tree if possible. Okay. Spread your legs out. Move the leg forward if you have to. Good hit. All right. So what improved of this time round, the last two shots versus those first two? Hold over.
I was better.
That hold a high, yeah. So just remember, this is a 308, and you're shooting an 18.5-inch barrel. Yeah, just don't need to aim high. You have an 18.5-inch barrel. You're shooting a high velocity round, and you're 150 yards. So at this range, you'll learn more of your holdovers as you keep practicing and getting your dope. But no need for holdover. Just this range, center is center.
Absolutely.
All right, good 2 hits. Woo!
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on our new Ruger Gunsite Scout journey. Please like, please subscribe, set notify. Join me on Patreon. The uncensored videos where we talk about all the assembly and all the fine tuning and the nitty gritty about getting your Ruger Scout Rifle set up will be on the Patreon. YouTube doesn't really like that. They don't like you setting up your rifle to be safe and effective in the field. Hey, take care out there.